Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing? I just got off my live stream a little bit ago, probably about 40 minutes ago. It's 12:10, and Alex and I were talking about Florida and our plans for Florida, and yeah, and then I was like, I'm gonna go do my live stream and listen to my audiobook a little bit, and then go to bed. I've got a bunch of stuff to do tomorrow, so. Didn't really do a whole lot today. I took a shower, got up, took a shower, went and got coffee, ran some errands, and then came home and made a video for my main channel. And then by that time, Alex was coming home from work. He got off work early today. And he came home and we ate dinner together and we watched that new, I guess it's not really new show, but like it's not super old. That one with Khloe Kardashian where she's like helping people get in shape. It's actually a really good show. And so we watched that, and then I said I was going to do a live stream, so he was watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I'll watch it later. And we're real into watching that show Mindhunters right now on Netflix. He's actually a couple episodes ahead of me, so. But if you guys are looking for a new Netflix show, that show is really good. Like, I'm really into it. I've kind of been like wanting to watch Love Boat lately, and I have the DVDs that people sent me, and I need to pull them out and throw them up in my DVD player and watch them on like cleaning and doing stuff around the house. Love, exciting and new, come aboard, we're expecting you, the Love Boat. Do you guys like the Love Boat? And Fantasy Island and Charlie's Angels, all those 70s shows, late 70s shows. Dallas, Dynasty. Well, I guess Dynasty's back. I wonder if Alex is still watching it. Is it over already? Like, is it still on? He watched it for a little bit, but I haven't seen it on our DVR lately, so. I need to start catching up with all the shows that I stopped watching, like How to Get Away with Murder, and, what was the other one that I watched? Oh, The Walking Dead I watched, and, like, I haven't been watching it for a long time. So I'm like a whole like year or a whole season behind. And what's so funny is that Tanya started watching it like 7 seasons in or 6 seasons in, and she's totally caught up, and I'm like so behind. She always wants to talk to me about it. I'm like, Tanya, I haven't watched the last 2 seasons. So this season and the last season I haven't watched. I just haven't really been in the mood to watch TV lately, like, to just sit there and watch TV. You know, like, when I sit at home all day long anyway, and I make videos, and, like, if I go out because I have, like, a meeting with somebody, or, you know, if I have to run errands or whatever, that's, like, how I get out of the house. But other than that, I'm not really, like, out of the house. And so, you know, and I haven't been really wanting to go far away in case PP doesn't feel well on certain days. And he's actually been, oh, there's the field. I don't see any deer out there. He's actually been feeling a lot better lately. He hasn't been coughing. The medicine seems to be working, so I'm very happy about that. But, you know, I never know how he's going to feel. And sometimes it's hard to tell in the morning, especially when it's been a lot colder. Right now it's 32. It's not super cold outside. I think it's supposed to be up to 50, somebody said in my live stream here, by, like, the end of the week. So, can you even imagine 50 degrees in Indianapolis in January? I'll take it. So, yeah. So, all in all, I had a pretty relaxing day. I know people are going to want me to address this video that was made about me. I'm not going to address it. I mean, I already made a reaction video to it. There's no truth to it. And quite frankly, like, at this point, you know, people are very much treating me with kid gloves, and they're like, are you okay? Are you okay? Which is so nice and so supportive. But, you know, I've been dealing with this person for over a year now, you know, and I'm just, at this point, like, nothing that they would do or say would really surprise me. And so I'm just kind of moving on with my life. You know, it's like, okay, go do your thing over here, and whatever you need to say or whatever, but I'm not in that. And so, like, I'm just going to go on and do my life, you know. I'm sorry that this is what your intention is and with your life and how you want to spend it. Concocting lies and trying to hurt somebody and whatever, but like, I'm not in that. Like, that doesn't say anything about me. I'm not in it, and I'm not even willing to go there with it. I just want to go on with my life. And, you know, so like when it happened today, people were like, well, what do you think? I'm like, I'm not surprised. Like, I'm going on with my life. You know, life's not going to stop because of this. There are people that won't live past today. And, you know, I feel blessed for every day that I have. So let's move on. And, you know, I say that in my vlog all the time, that life is a gift. And it truly, truly is. Like, I think if you think about that from the point of view of every day that you get up, you know, that here is another day that I'm given to live with. And, you know, if you've watched my vlog for a long time, I used to read on here the thing that we would do in community when I worked in treatment. And it was, you know, today I've been given, I can't remember how it is, but just for today or whatever, I've been given another day, you know, to use for, you know, good or bad, positive or negative. But I'm exchanging a day of my life for it. Well, if I'm exchanging a day of my life for something, what do I choose to exchange that day for? You know, am I exchanging it to get all like crazy minded and no, I'm not willing to do that. I've lived too long, I've lived too much, that I've seen people waste their lives away, becoming consumed with things they can't control, and I'm not willing to go there, you know, like, life is too short. We're on borrowed time as it is. I say this in my videos all the time. And, you know, the message isn't going to change for me. I'm not going to stop being consistent in the message that I send out. I firmly believe the message that I send, you know, and the things that I say. So, that would be my advice to anybody, you know, is when you're going through something in your life that you don't know what to do with, move on, put one foot in front of the other, and live your best life, right? I mean, what's the alternative? And I have a great life, you know, I do. I have an amazing life. And we're planning trips, and, you know, we were sitting there tonight talking about PP's health and how much better he's done. And, you know, a month ago I was, well, you know, the end of December when all this happened, I guess it was a month ago because we've gone through a month of medication at this point, you know, I was really worried. I was like, I don't know that he's going to live through Christmas. And then I was like, I don't know that he'll live through, you know, New Year's. And he's still here, and he's running around, and he's playing with his brothers, and he's playing outside, and that's a gift, you know. And I've received, I think, 4 or 5 messages alone in the last few days, 4, I think, from people whose parents have passed away. And you can't get that time back, you know? You just can't. And I think we need to be very careful who and what we give our time to, and how we spend our time on this planet. And how we allow our bodies to respond to things. Because if we respond to things with stress, then our bodies are affected negatively by that too. And, you know, long-term resentment, anger, and stress, much like Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life, she talks about this in there, that it has been shown that, you know, resentment, anger, stress, constant tragedy and calamity can cause illness in people. And the way to get through that is by removing anger, stress, resentment, and things from your life. And I think that it would be a sad day for any of us to hand that over to somebody and allow them to have that kind of, you know, hold on our lives. It just, I wouldn't want that for anybody, you know, period. And, yeah, so live your best life. And I think that that's the message that I try to show in all of my vlogs, right? Like, you know, like, we're on borrowed time, live your best life that you can possibly can, and what you do with it, be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be, on and on and on. I'm drinking one of these buy drinks tonight. Antioxidant cocoa fusion, which I'm sure somebody is going to tell me is really unhealthy for me. Because everything I show in any of my vlogs, at least one person's like, this is really unhealthy for you. But I've been drinking a lot of Gatorade lately. And I've been drinking a lot of Gatorade lately, and it's kind of like high in calorie or high in sodium, and I think somebody else was saying, and as much as I like it, I don't, like, I'm trying to be better about the things that I drink, and I'm trying to, like, watch the labels and stuff, especially, you know, when it is processed. And I never said, like, being a vegetarian or, you know, trying to eat healthier, that I wasn't going to eat processed foods. Like, I'm going to eat processed foods. Before, I was going to fast food every night, and I was eating out a lot, and I was eating a lot of, like, processed food. So I feel as if I've made a lot of, you know, work towards having a better physical life. I feel physically better. I've been drinking a ton of water again lately, which I did that where I was only drinking water, and you know, I'm back to that again where I'm only drinking water or like this, and like the last 3 days I've had like a Gatorade every day. So I want to get off the Gatorade, I want to get off this shit and just back to water again, because I felt so incredible. You know, I get one of the nicest compliments I get from people all the time is like, they're like, your skin is so clear, what's your skin regimen and stuff like that. And you guys, honest to God, I wash my face in the shower with Dove bar soap or Dial bar soap, and then I, you know, put Aveeno lotion on it, and then I wash my face before I go to bed at night. And that's it. Like, I don't do anything to my face. And, you know, honestly, it's 98% genetics, I think. My mom always said to me, you know, she never had acne when she was in high school. I never had acne. I've had, like, a pimple here and there, period. And she said to me, you know, like, just wash your face with bar soap, and I did that. But I don't think that would work for everybody. You know, my husband had horrible acne when he was in high school. His mom had horrible acne, and I feel for people that have really bad acne, you know, like, I've had some friends of mine that, like, I mean, I didn't know Alex then, but I've had some friends of mine that had just, you know, horrific acne at times in their life, and it just really got them down, and they didn't want to go anywhere, and I just can't even imagine. I feel so bad for them, you know. They've done the medical treatments and all this kind of stuff, you know, and so I appreciate the compliment, I really do. But in fact, when I was in high school, it's interesting because, you know, like, we talk about being teased and bullied about stuff. Like, one of the things that my friends teased me about was that I had never had a pimple. They were like, oh, Peter's never had a pimple, you know, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, okay, I mean, like, I don't know why I should feel bad about that, you know? But, like, what I've learned over time with bullying, and they weren't bullying me, they were just teasing me, but what I've learned over time is that people will bully you for whatever, for being too thin, for being too effeminate, for being too masculine, for not fitting into this, for not fitting into that, you know, for being too tall, for being too short, for being too thin, for being too heavy, on and on and on. I mean, people will find things that they just can pick you apart about. That's why you just choose not to have those people in your life, you know? And I feel so, like, blessed that I have so many people in my life that love and support me unconditionally today, you know? It's like, I don't know, I just have so many amazing people in my life. And when shit goes down, it's interesting because, like, the phone just starts going crazy, and people are like, hey, are you okay? Or like, what can I do for you? Or do you need anything right now? And you know, to just have that kind of love is just amazing. And I always had it from my family, and then I didn't really have a lot of close friends until I was in high school. But then once I had my close friends, I mean, they were like loyal to a fault of like beating the shit out of somebody. And I mean, I have a few friends like that today that I'm like, restrain yourself, please. That's not where we want to go with this. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah. It's just amazing when you have that, even if you just have it from one person. And honestly, and this is going to sound kind of crazy to people probably, but sometimes I feel like the best people or creatures in my life are my dogs, because like dogs don't know anything. You know what I mean? Like, they do. I believe dogs have personalities, and I think they have brains, but they don't know, like, what's going on in the world, right? So if you're in a fight with, like, you know, you and your mom, and you're like, oh, I can't deal with her for one more second. I mean, your dog comes over and looks you in the face and, like, sleeps next to you and, like, just gives you the comfort that you need. And I feel so blessed. I have 3 dogs that are just so sweet, you know, and, a husband that's so supportive of me, and family and friends enough to go around. And did you guys hear that? I need to get my brake light fixed. So yeah, I started reading this book last night that I got when I was a kid. My dad got it. It was a Mickey Spillane book. It's called, like, The Day the Sea Rolled Back. And then I recently bought it on Thrift Book because I couldn't find it anywhere else. And it's really good. It's really short. It's like 110 pages, or 100, I think it's 114 pages. And it's about this dad, and he's like a treasure hunter. And he and his son to an island in the Caribbean, and I'm not there yet, but it's like this one day the sea rolls back and they can go down there and get, like, all the treasure and stuff, and all these people are trying to come at them and stuff too. But, like, I had forgotten about this book, and I'm like, it's been sitting on my counter, and last night I was like, I'm just gonna start reading this, and I got like 5 pages into it, and I was like, oh my god, I remember reading this book. So funny when you go back and you read stuff from, you know, like when you were young, and you're like, I loved this book back in the day, you know? It's a really good book. It's a really good book. The Day the Sea Rolled Back. Somebody sent me a Snapchat, I think, and it was a picture of Speed Queen by Stuart Onan that I talk about in my BookTube videos a lot. And Stuart Onan is, like, my favorite author, probably one of my top 3 favorite authors of life. And I know I do these little top 3 lists and I never remember who I say, but he really is. And Speed Queen was the first book of his that I read. He's really good friends with Stephen King too. They wrote a novella together called The Face in the Crowd, which I did not love. It was not, I listened to it on Audible. It was okay. It wasn't great, but it was kind of really depressing, honestly. All of his stuff is a little depressing, but Speed Queen is about this woman, and she's on death row for supposedly killing her boyfriend, and they were methamphetamine addicts, and she sold the rights to her story to Stephen King, so it's her going back in time. My camera is, like, on yellow already for heat, but I'm gonna tell the story and then I'll take a break. It's her going back in time and telling, like, what happened and how she met him and all this kind of stuff. It's fantastic. It's so good. And if you guys want to read a really, like, and he also wrote The Night Country, which is about these teenagers that are in a car accident on Halloween, and then, like, it tells it from, like, the mom's point of view, and then, like, 2 of the kids that survived, their point of view, and, like, a neighbor's point of view. It's done really, really well. And he's not a young adult author, he's an adult author. And he's done another book called Songs for the Missing. It's about a girl that goes missing. And Last Night at the Lobster, which took place on Christmas Eve. It's about this guy that's the manager of a Red Lobster the night that it's closing down for good. That one is so sad. But he is such a phenomenal author, and I love everything that he puts out there. Okay, this is like bright yellow light. It's like not going away now. So I'm gonna let my camera cool for a second, and I will be back. So I turned the heat off, and then I turned it back on, and then I was like, oh, I guess I'll vlog now. And now it's hot as hell in here, so... yeah. And so, yeah. That was a momism of mine. My mom used to do that. She would say, yeah. It's funny when you remember, like, once you have, like, a parent that's gone for a while and you remember, like, little things that they did, you know, and, like, things that you forget sometimes, like, how they acted or things they said or things they did, and then you're like, oh, yeah, they said this. They salted these roads again, but it is, like, warm outside, and apparently it's supposed to be much warmer tomorrow, so I'm like, why did they salt the video, or salt the videos, why did they salt the videos? Why did they salt, I'm gonna call this video Salty Video. Everybody will come watch it then. Why did they salt the roads? Or maybe that's from leftover from last night. I don't know. But I woke up today and it wasn't bad. It was just like slush outside. It was gross, but it wasn't like icy at all today. Slushy. Did you guys ever used to drink slushies? Tanya and I used to go get them in the summer. I miss the summer. I am so ready for the summer. We are almost halfway through January. Well, not really. We're at the 8th. Well, I guess we are almost halfway through January. We're like next week. Then next week we'll be halfway through January. And then we'll have February, March. And then April showers bring me flowers. I'm so ready for the spring. I am so ready for the spring. And, yeah. It'll be fun. We're going to have a fun spring. And we're going to talk about spring things and summer things. And I love that book. I have it in my office. I like the things that summer brings. It brings the sun. It brings... Did you guys ever... Have I read that on here on my BookTube channel or talked about it before? I love that book so much. It's going to be a good year. 2018 is going to be a good year. I can just feel it in my bones. I'm eating healthy. I'm drinking lots of water. And, yeah. Roto-Rooter. Do you guys remember those Roto-Rooter commercials? I didn't even know there was a Roto-Rooter right there. I'm kind of taking a different route tonight than I've... Route? Which do you guys say? Route? I used to say route, and now I say route. It's funny how you like change words over time. Like, does anybody out there remember when it was coupon and now it's coupon? I swear it used to be coupon, or am I crazy? But anyway, and why did we change it? Do we have a problem with the coupon, the word, that we had to change it to coupon? Coupon. But I took a little different route tonight. I don't know why that cracks me up. It's funny. It's kind of foggy outside. I bet it's because of the warmer weather. Now that Christmas is over and I'm not reading Christmas books anymore, I'm in the mood to read like suspense and like mysteries. And I'm reading that book, The Woman in the Window. Oh my God, it's so scary. It's not scary, but it's like suspenseful because you don't know what's going to happen. And I'm watching that Mindhunter TV show, and I just love all of that suspense and all that kind of stuff. It's so much fun, you know? I was talking last night about how I really want to collab with a lot of like YouTubers this year, and I think I'm actually just going to reach out to some of them and be like, I mean, not like the huge people, but some people that were like, oh yeah, I'd love to, like Raw Beauty Christie has said to me she would collab with me. I think I'm just going to be like, hey, would you like to collab? And if she says yeah, then I'll just fly out there for a weekend, you know? And if Alex wants to come, he can come. And I think that would be fun, you know? I want to do some of that fun stuff. It's like tricky, you know, on YouTube because people, like I would love to collab with Loey too, but it's tricky because it's like calling in a favor, you know what I mean? Like I don't really have a whole lot to offer these people when they're like heads and tails above me subscriber count wise, except for that I'm so hilarious, but no. But so for me to like ask them to do a collab, they're really doing me a favor, you know, because the only thing that's going to come from it is they're going to introduce their audience to me, which is nice, but why would they do that? You know what I mean? Like, and so you have to be kind of careful of that. Like, I think YouTubers feel like they're taken advantage of and things like that. That's like why people are like, well, why haven't you done like, you know, a collab with Trisha? Well, I mean, if I was out in LA and Trisha said stop by, and I stopped by and she's like, hey, do you want to do a collab? I would do a collab, but I would never ask Trisha to do a collab. You know, I just wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to, you know, if Christy was like, hey, do you want to come out here and visit and we'll do a collab together, I would do that. And I would love to do some collabs with people. I wish people would reach out to me and say, hey, were you serious? Like, yes, come out here and we'll do a collab. But like, I'm not the person that would ask for it. I've never been that person in my life where I've gone to people, and maybe I should, I don't know, you know, where I go to people and ask for favors. I think that here's the thing, I also wouldn't want to do it in a way that it wasn't natural, if that made sense, So like, I wouldn't like, you know, I've been very blessed in that a lot of people have shouted me out in their videos. But like when Shane and Trisha shouted me out, it was because Trisha was showing Shane my videos, and then they were laughing and kind of making fun of me, and I thought it was real cute. I liked how they did it, you know, because it was natural. And then Trisha put me in her favorites, which was so nice. And then, you know, other YouTubers that have talked about me, it was so nice. You know, it just really meant a lot to me at that time, and that's a huge thing, you know. And you know, Charles shouted me out, and Keemstar shouted me out, and, you know, Shane Dawson said something really nice to me, and other YouTubers. I was just watching this girl tonight that put me in her vlog, Olivia Kara, I think is her name, and she mentioned me in her video. It was so sweet, you know. It's so nice when people do that, and it's like why I try to do the same thing, like in my videos, you know, where I try to like give people shout outs that are smaller. I do that a lot on my BookTube channel, because it's really one of the only ways to really help you build your channel, unless you have a video that goes viral or you're recommended like crazy and stuff like that. And you know, there's so many people out there that buy subscribers and buy likes to make their videos look like something that they're not, and I'm just not willing to do that. You know, when I got on here and I said I'm gonna do this, and I'm starting this later in life, but it doesn't mean that I can't have fun with it, and, you know, have this be something that I enjoy doing, making videos. But if I'm gonna do it, it's gonna be legit. Like, I'm not gonna bullshit it, you know. Like, everybody that is watching my videos is going to be an actual person watching my videos, because I want to know in my heart of souls, in my heart of hearts, in my soul, you know, that that's true. Like, I don't care to prove that to I don't have any need to prove that to somebody else, you know. And I think it's kind of sad when you get in that business. It's like, well, you're spending money to buy likes on your videos, so it appears to other people that you're bigger than you are, so that you're not making any money off that. So you're sitting at home convincing yourself that you're a bigger deal than you are. That's kind of sad, really. I mean, really what that is maybe take a look at your self-concept, your self-esteem, why you need that, you know? And I've been accused a lot of, not just on YouTube, but in my life, of like needing a lot of attention. Attention feels good. Positive attention feels good. Negative attention, not so much, but positive attention feels good. I think a lot of us like that. But I think if you knew me in my private life, you would know that, like, it's on a totally different level. Like, you know, I don't ever throw birthday parties for myself. When people ask me if I want a birthday party, I'm like, no. You know, I always just, Alex and I go to Steak and Shake, and, you know, before I was a vegetarian, I would get a Frisco melt and the fries and a shake, and then we go see 2 movies at the movie theater. And that's what I like to do on my birthday, and have a pecan pie. I like a pecan pie on my birthday. I always have. My mom would laugh at me. One year I had a key lime pie. When I was growing up, I always had, because my birthday is in the summer, I would always have ice cream cake. Like 2 years ago, Alex bought me an ice cream cake, which was so sweet. And I fucking love my husband. You know, like, just unstoppable man. And you know, he's been through some real shit in his life. And he just always takes it to the next level. You know, it's like, you know, like when you are so sure how somebody's gonna act or respond, and then yet again they kind of, and you know them so well, but yet they surprise you again, and it's a positive, it's a good surprise, you know. And it's just like, it's the coolest thing ever. And one of the things that's been really cool about, you know, being married to my husband and seeing him, like, you know, apply to graduate schools, and, you know, like, at one point he wanted to go to law school, and he hasn't ruled it out. And see how far he's come in his career, and, you know, he just never takes no for an answer, and he sees something that he wants and he goes for it. You know, he challenges me on a daily basis, and yet at the end of the day, we're just 2 guys in love with our dogs, you know, going to sleep at night. And yesterday I was sick, and he knew that, and I had kind of cabin fever because I was like in bed all day long, and I came home after doing my vlog, and I lay down in bed, and he was asleep. And And he got up to go to the bathroom, and he came back, and he was like, held my hand, and he was like, you feeling any better? And I said, I'm doing okay. I said, I'm not sniffling as bad and stuff, but I still feel real hot. And he said, you know, did you get any, he wanted me to go get some of that airborne stuff. And I was like, I didn't want to stop. And he was like, well, you're not going to feel any better tomorrow if you don't take that stuff. You know, like, he's so sweet and holding my hand, but at the same time, he's like, but you should have gone and got that airborne stuff. I'm like, okay, we should just keep that stuff, I swear, on, my friend Tanya takes it all the time. She takes it like 3 times a week, that airborne stuff. Alex swears by it. I don't think it really ever helps. It never feels like it helps me, but whatever. But I love my husband. He is amazing. And I love his family. And, you know, it's like my brother and sister-in-law, like, have so very little. And Carlos works 2 jobs, and he just busts his ass, you know, for his family. And, you know, it's like they never complain. And, like, Alex comes from a family that does not, they don't complain, like, ever, you know? And, it's just, it's crazy to me. Like, I don't know. I think, like, that's a little bit, maybe it's just his family. I don't know. And, you know, I want to assign some cultural differences to it, but it's like, he doesn't complain. I've never heard my husband complain. Like, he's not somebody that would sit around and be like, I don't want to go to work tomorrow. He never says, I've never heard him say that. You know, he would never say something to me like, you know, I don't know. He's just amazing. I feel so blessed and lucky. I was going to say lucky. I feel so blessed and lucky to have met him, you know? And really, like, it's so interesting. We were talking about this in the Q&A that we did, that we, like, neither one of us really wanted to get in a relationship when we met. And it wasn't easy at the beginning, you know? Because we both wanted such different things. And neither one of us really wanted to be in a relationship. And the really strange thing is that we both kind of fought it about being in a relationship, you know? And here we are, 9.5 years later, and I think that's cool. And, you know, I think I try to be a role model to other people out there, you know, as a couple, that gay, straight, or whatever, that you can have a healthy relationship and have issues that you're going to work through and all of that kind of stuff. And you know what? And you can have a great marriage. And, when you figure out how to do that, you know, when you figure out how to have that language of love where you're so united, it's like you're unstoppable as a team. And it's like when you're best friends, but you're partners and lovers and all that stuff, although I hate that word, but when you are all of that, and it's like you're kind of unstoppable in life, not in, like, excuse me, professional pursuits or whatever, but it's like, you know that anything is possible, because no matter what happens at the end of the day, you guys are going to be, you know, together side by side. And it's just such a cool thing, you know? I wish it for everybody out there. I wish everybody, I remember when, like, I was between my first and my second boyfriend, and my mom and I was at her house one night, and we were sitting there, and Jerry Springer was on, and it was this woman, and she had, like, these 2 guys fighting for her, and I said to my mom, I said, see, Mom, even she has somebody, because I was, like, so, like, I can't believe I can't find a boyfriend. I was always, you know, I'm a total monogamous person. Like, I want to be in a relationship. I want to have the boyfriend or the husband, okay? I take that shit very, very seriously. Like, I always have. And I'm a total traditionalist about relationships. Any of my 3 boyfriends and now husband will tell you that. Like, yes, Peter is a complete traditionalist. And, you know, I always wanted what heterosexual couples had. And I thought that that was my right. And, you know, and I do think that's my right. So, we're watching this Jerry Springer, and I said, see, Mom, even she's got 2 guys fighting over her. And my mom's sitting there filing her nails. And she goes, sweetie, would you want either one of them fighting over you? I go, no. And she goes, any of us out there can find somebody. She said, but let me tell you something. She said, you've had one really great love of your life. She said, none of us are promised that in life. None of us are promised a partner or a mate in life. None of us are promised that we're going to meet the love of our life or have a great marriage or have a relationship. And I had never thought of it that way. I had never thought, here was my mom, that got divorced when I was 6 years old and, died when I was 36 years old. So, 30 years of being single, and she was separated for 3 of those 6 years of my life. 2 of those 6 years, were they divorced when I was 6 or when I was 8? I can't remember. But anyway, she was separated for like 2 years. So 32 years of, my life. My mother she dated occasionally, but not very often, never had another relationship, period. And I remember thinking about that later and thinking, she's so right. We're none of us promised that in life. We're not promised a relationship. We're not promised a partner. We're not promised a mate. And I think that's sad, but I also think that realization makes you stop trying so hard to find that person. And then when it happens, it happens. But who are you and what do you want to be if you don't ever meet somebody? And that's the real key, right? Like, who do you want to be if you don't ever meet somebody? Like, what do you want to accomplish in life? What do you want your goals to be? What do you want to have in your life? What do you want your career to be? Or what do you want your, hobbies and your passions to be? And don't let that stop you. Like, go do those things. And then if somebody comes along, well, that's a blessing. But if not, you have a fulfilled life. And I've had so many people say to me through the years, oh, Peter, like, I'll probably never meet anybody. And it's really hard, but sometimes I say, well, I don't know if you will. I'm sorry to tell you that, It's like back in the day, when I worked with, addicts and alcoholics and stuff, and, like I would have to work with family members, and I would say to them, one of the hardest things for me to tell you is that I don't know that your child is going to survive, like they're 26, they're in prison, they may die, like I don't know what to tell you. And it's really sad, like I just recently, my cousin's husband, his nephew passed away from an overdose. And, like, I remember talking to his mom. He was like 30. And I remember talking to his mom when he was much younger and being like, because he was doing all that stuff then. And I would say, she would say, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I'd say, well, here are the things that I would do, as a parent, get involved in, Al-Anon or Nar-Anon, which are 12-step programs for friends and family members of alcoholics and addicts. Set limits and boundaries of what's acceptable to you and what you won't. Don't enable them. But, after that, like, there's only so much you can do. You can offer them treatment. You can say, I'll help you out once or twice, whatever you can do. But, like, past that, it's like, don't become the problem. And I can't promise you that your child's not going to end up in prison or dead. Like, and that's a hard thing to say to somebody, I remember in treatment one time I worked with this girl. I became very close with her parents and her dad because it was like her 3rd treatment. She'd come in and out for like 3 different times, 6 months at a time. And it was like the 3rd time, and I'll never forget, he shocked us all in family group. And he looked at her and he said, I'm going to say goodbye to you now because I don't know that I'll ever have the opportunity to say goodbye to you if you overdose. And he said, I'm not coming back to any more family groups. I'm not coming back to any more visitations. She was 18 at the time. And he was like, you're on your own now. And he said, I'm done. Like, I've helped you. I've supported you. If you turn your life around and you make something of your life, then I will be there for you, which she has turned her life around. She messages me every once in a while and lets me know what's going on. And very cool young lady. Totally turned her life around, went and got her degree, and she's just awesome. But I'll never forget that night. And he said, I'm done. Like, I'm not coming back anymore, and I know I'm going to probably bury you, and it's devastating to me, and I can't sit and watch it happen. I just can't. and I want to say goodbye to you now while you're still alive. And I'll never forget her sitting there sobbing. Like, how can you be saying that to me? And yet she wasn't willing to take any responsibility for her actions that were causing that, you know? And it's sad, isn't it? You know? Our country has this huge epidemic, and it's like the blind leading the blind with addiction and stuff, you know, because the people that work in the field, and I don't anymore, thank God, you know, like, it's depressing after some time, but, you know, people that work in the field are so busy trying to place people in treatment, trying to find halfway houses for them, trying to find appropriate programs for them or whatever, you know, that it's like they don't really, they're just band-aiding situations, you know, and the success rate is very small. And you know, but I'll tell you what, when I was in treatment, I said to my counselor, like, maybe a week and a half before I got out, I looked at her and I said, I was going into like this group thing, and there was about 30, 35 guys in this group, and I said to her, I said, I said, what's the success rate? And she said 1 in 30. And I remember I looked around and I started counting, and I got to about 35 and I stopped, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna be that one. Like, I hope they all make it, but I'm gonna be the one. I'm gonna be the one that makes it. And I was done, you know? I was done putting up with shit in my life. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I didn't want that yellow light on my camera is on again for being hot, but so it may just cut off. I didn't want that anymore. I wanted a better life for myself, you know? And I said that, and look, I'm still here, you know? I had that determination in my soul, but I wouldn't have had it that first day that I stopped using. I wouldn't have. Like, I didn't have it the first day that I stopped using. I had it weeks later when I was in treatment, and I had some clarity of mind, you know? So I wish that for everybody. I wish every addict and alcoholic out there gets some help, you know? It's so sad to me. I get messages from people all the time, and I don't even know how to respond to them sometimes, you know? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. It breaks my heart. Go to a 12-step program. If you're a friend or a family member, go to Al-Anon, go to Nar-Anon, get the support you need, because you are affected as well. And for every person out there, even if you're not affected by, you know, an addict or an alcoholic or somebody in your life that's sick or whatever, think about my message tonight of living your best life. That's what I want for everybody. I want for everybody to live their best life. There's no dress rehearsal. This is it. So live your best life. I love you guys, and I think I'm going to end this a little early tonight. So I will see you tomorrow. Bye.